station rooms for you to study." She passed him a pair of white cotton gloves. "It's busy today. Whenever we have heavy rain, we see more visitors. The gallery is dry, warm, and more importantly, it's free." She pulled her face and smiled as if to suggest it was ever thus. Within 5 minutes she had left him with the 3 Vallette oil paintings. None was large, and all illustrated a moment in Manchester's social history during a key time, its industrial peak. The grim, sombre-coloured oils depicted a window into the past. His expert eye checked the coloured pigments, the board and the back of each painting. This, to people like Darwin, revealed much more than the painting itself. It would take him 20 minutes to study and photograph each work, and then he would head back to the station and home. As he drew his observations to a close, he removed a small padded envelope from the side of his laptop case. From this he extracted a small oil painting, which he laid between the others. He scrutinized the paintings again, one after the other, and then came back to the outsider that he had introduced. "Bloody hell, that's good," he whispered to himself. He picked it up and, slipping a jeweller's loop into his eye, he inspected the painting close up. "Bloody good indeed." He opened his eye fully, and the loop immediately dropped onto his open palm. Happy with the result, he slipped the painting back into the envelope and into the bag. August. The sun hung like a limp yellow balloon in the early morning Yorkshire sky. It was neither high nor low, but at a height that was blinding both for the few drivers and even fewer pedestrians alike. It would prove to be far from innocent. For Natalie Gray, it was a total nuisance. Each step of this part of her morning run was becoming unacceptably difficult. The lack of suitable pavement was also a hindrance. "Merde!" she whispered under her breath as her foot dipped into the 3rd pothole within 100 yards. She made a mental note to wear sunglasses on her next run. She had pounded the same route for 4 consecutive mornings, and this was the first day of sunshine. She was so ill-prepared. Within the hour she would be back at the hotel. She would have breakfasted and be heading for the conference centre and the Antiques and Fine Art Fair. It was the penultimate day of her annual working pilgrimage to Harrogate. The songs of Jack Savoretti caressed her ears, blocking out the surrounding sounds. There were few, not surprisingly, considering where she was and the time of day. The silver-grey Lexus had passed her 10 minutes previously. The driver knew Natalie's route. She had run a convenient distance behind her each day, but today was to be different. Very different. Monica parked the car at the side of the road and waited. There was no tail of grey smoke from the exhaust of the now stationary vehicle. The driver, ever alert, was sensing her pending and approaching prey. The hybrid car sat ready to pounce. It would do so electrically and silently. The driver checked the rearview mirror and yawned. The occasional early morning and late night were tolerable, but 4 in a row were proving unacceptable, especially considering the exercise. She lowered herself into the seat as the runner came into view. Pulling down the sun visor with her gloved hand, she slipped on a pair of sunglasses. Within seconds, Natalie was closing on the car, now a dark silhouette ahead in her path. The driver saw her turn her head as if checking there were nothing approaching from behind in preparation for rounding the parked car, unlikely considering the time of the morning, but it was more instinctive. She quickly veered to the right and ran around the parked obstacle, unaware of the driver's presence. She checked her watch, and in spite of the dazzling sun, she was still on schedule. It was then, when she was 100 yards past the parked car, that she suddenly pulled up abruptly as a startled rabbit sprang from the hedge. It paused briefly before darting, bob-tailed, across her immediate path and vanishing magically into the far hedge. Natalie raised her hand, shielding the sun so as to allow her eyes to focus on the white, swiftly disappearing tail. A smile came to her lips. "It's like Watership Down," she thought, her breathing slowly steadying as she bent at the waist to take a deep inhale.